here with the Colonial Pipeline.
Colonial Pipeline.
Colonial Pipeline.
Cyber attack. Ransomware attack to shut down the pipeline.
Is it even possible to hack an oil pipeline? Something unimaginable happened in the early hours of May 6, 2021. Colonial Pipeline, the operator of the largest refined oil products pipeline in the United States, fell victim to a sophisticated cyber attack. This pipeline transports over 100 million gallons of fuel daily within a system extending from Houston, Texas to Linden, New Jersey. This cyber attack created widespread disruption of United States fuel supplies across the East Coast. And the impact was so significant that President Biden at the time declared a state of emergency.
And over the weekend, at my direction, the Department of Transportation issued an emergency order to loosen restrictions on truck drivers in order to allow more fuel to be transported by a tanker.
But how did the threat actors do it? A hacker group known as DarkSide infiltrated Colonial Pipeline's network by exploiting a compromised VPN password. After breaching the network, the attackers likely utilized their access privileges to move laterally across company systems, exploring and exploiting vulnerabilities within its infrastructure. In a span of just 2 hours, the cybercriminals exfiltrated approximately 100 gigabytes of sensitive data. Concurrently, they deployed ransomware, a type of malware designed to encrypt critical files and render them inaccessible to legitimate users. The actors then demanded a ransom in exchange for decryption tool to restore access. This malicious software compromised multiple vital systems within Colonial Pipeline, including those responsible for accounting and billing operations, further paralyzing the company's ability to function effectively, locking the company out of its own operations. By May 7th, the attackers issued a ransom demand threatening to release the stolen data and perpetuate the shutdown unless a payment was made. Colonial Pipeline had to make a critical decision. Cybercriminals had infiltrated their systems, deploying ransomware that forced the company to halt operations. The attackers, identified as the DarkSide Group, demanded a ransom of 75 Bitcoin, approximately $4.4 million at the time, threatening to release stolen data and prolong the shutdown if their demands were unmet. Confronted with the potential for extended operational disruptions that could impact fuel supplies across the eastern United States, Colonial Pipeline chose to pay the ransom. Despite the payment, the decryption tool provided by DarkSide proved sluggish, significantly hindering immediate restoration efforts. The ramifications of these attacks were profound. The pipeline shutdown led to fuel shortages and price spike, causing widespread concern and highlighting vulnerabilities in critical infrastructure. In response, the Federal Motor Carrier Safety Administration issued a regional emergency declaration for 17 states and Washington, D.C. to keep fuel supply lines open. The incident underscored the escalating threat of ransomware attacks on essential services and prompted a re-evaluation of cybersecurity measures across industries. It also sparked discussions on the ethics and effectiveness of paying ransom to cybercriminals, considering the potential to encourage further attacks. In the aftermath, the U.S. Department of Justice announced the recovery of a significant portion of the ransom, about 63.7 Bitcoin, though due to a decline in Bitcoin's value, the recovered amount was worth only around $2.3 million, roughly only half of the original payment. On May 8th, Colonial Pipeline publicly disclosed the cyber attack, emphasizing their commitment to restoring operations safely and efficiently. As a precautionary measure, the company proactively shut down its entire pipeline system to contain the threat and prevent further damage. The decision to halt all operation was not made lightly. This was a calculated move to contain the threat posed by a ransomware attack. Colonial Pipeline's proactive approach aimed to safeguard not only their infrastructure, but also the broader energy supply chain from cascading failures. The shutdown had immediate and far-reaching consequences. With the pipeline offline, concerns about fuel shortages quickly spread. The eastern United States, heavily dependent for gasoline, diesel, and jet fuel, faced potential supply disruptions. By the evening of May 8th, states like Georgia, North Carolina, and Virginia had begun experiencing the first signs of fuel scarcity. Panic buying set in and fuel prices started to climb, prompting state and federal authorities to issue reassurances and implement emergency measures. The FBI and the other federal agencies launched an investigation underscoring the severity of the situation. The shutdown not only exposed vulnerabilities within critical infrastructure, but also served as a stark reminder of the growing threat of cyber attacks on essential services. In the days that followed, Colonial Pipeline worked tirelessly to assess the damage and develop a strategy for safely resuming operations. The incident prompted widespread discussions about the need for enhanced cybersecurity measures, particularly for industries deemed vital to national security. It also sparked debates about the role of government and private sectors in safeguarding critical infrastructure. On May 13, 2021, a significant milestone was reached. The Colonial Pipeline lifeline for fuel supply to the East Coast had fully recovered from the crippling ransomware attack. This day marked the triumphant restoration of operations after a period of intense disruption. After several days of halted operations due to a ransomware attack, Colonial Pipeline announced a full restoration of its fuel disruption services. This news brought a breath of fresh air to states grappling with fuel shortages and panic buying. The announcement of full restoration brought immediate relief, fuel supplies began to stabilize, and the panic buying that had plagued the East Coast started to subside. This event, however, also sparked intense debates about the implications of paying ransoms to cybercriminals and to the broader consequences of cybersecurity. Government officials addressed the nation, emphasizing the urgent need for stronger security measures. The attack and its resolution had highlighted glaring vulnerabilities in critical infrastructure, prompting calls for enhanced protective measures and a renewed focus on cybersecurity resilience. The events of May 13, 2021 underscored the importance of resilience and preparedness in the face of cyber attack. The successful restoration of the Colonial Pipeline was a testament of the hard work and dedication of everyone involved and served as a wake-up call for continuous vigilance in cybersecurity. Well, thank you for watching. If you found this video informative, please like, subscribe, and share. Stay tuned for more insights in cybersecurity and infrastructure resilience videos. And until next time, stay informed and stay secure. Bye now.